Okay, so for example 1, we have a figure. It's called a composite figure because it's made up of more than one shape. The first thing we need to do is determine what shapes we see in our figure. Okay, so who can tell me one shape that we see in this figure?
I see a triangle.
Okay, triangle. What's the other shape? Square. And remember, we're assuming this is a square since Miss Lemongood forgot to label that bottom part. Okay? All right, so we can look directly above and see, oh, for a triangle, we need base and height, right? Because it's base times height divided by 2. What's the base of our triangle?
4.
How do you know that it's 4?
Because it's a square underneath it.
Right, look. Can we all agree that this side here is part of the square and the triangle? Can we all agree that this side here is part of the square and the triangle? Yes, right? So, we've got 4 as our base. What's our height? What's our height of our triangle? 3. And then we're going to take that divided by 2. Because formula for area of a triangle is 4 times 3 divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay? Now we need to find the area of the square. How do we find the area of a square?
Side to side.
Side times side. So 4 times 4, which equals 16. Okay? So we say the area of the triangle is 6 feet squared. We say the area of the square, so we've done this here, we've done this here, is 16 feet squared. So how do you think we're going to find the total area? Add them. So we're going to take the triangle, which is 6, and we're going to add it to the square, which is 16, to get a total of 22 feet squared. Okay, now example number 1, we had lines to show us where the shapes were split up. Okay, example number 2, we don't have that. All right, so we're going to have to take this shape and divide it into 2 shapes. There are a couple different ways we could do this. Okay, first of all, what 2 shapes do we have? How do we know it's a square?
Because you can make it into
Nope, there are no squares. If we cut this, it's not going to make a square. It's going to make 2 rectangles. So we're going to do rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. All right, I want somebody to come up here and draw a dotted line to show how we're going to split this shape. Okay? It's okay. I got somebody coming. I want everybody to draw their own dotted line. I want to see how many of us do it the same way. Because there's more than one right way to do this. Perfect. All right. How many of you did it this same way?
Me.
How many of you did it like this? Both ways are correct, guys. You're going to get the same answer no matter what. It's just a matter of how you want to do it. What makes sense in your head. Did you hear what I just said? You could have done it like this.
Yeah, but it looks like it's a square.
It might be a square, but we can't assume it's a square until we know the measurements. Okay? All right, so let's say this is rectangle 1 and this is rectangle 2. Okay? We know that one of the measurements of rectangle 1 is 7 inches. That is labeled for us. So I'm going to put a 7 down there. What we need to make sure we're correct in is this one right here. Okay? You cannot just assume that it's 7. It might be 7. It looks like it's 7, but we can't just say it's 7. So how could we find out for sure what this measurement is right here? Go ahead. Yeah, look right here. This whole side is 13. This little side is 6. So this plus this has to equal 13. So what is this? It is, in fact, 7. So it is a square. But we can't just assume that it's a square by saying it looks like a square. Okay? And it's okay to call it's okay to say that this is a rectangle. It's fine. It's not correct. It's not incorrect. All right. So this one up here is a square, 7 times 7, which is 49. What are our two measurements down here? What are our two measurements down here? 15 and 6. 15 times 6. Anybody do it without a calculator? Oh, so right. Okay? So we found the area of this. We found the area of this. So our total area, all we have to do is add. So we're going to do 49 for rectangle 1, 90 for rectangle 2, 139, label please. What's our label? Inches squared. All right, we're going to do one more example together. This is a fun one, a tricky one. All right, here is what makes this tricky, friends. I need voices off so that we can finish this example. What two shapes do we have in this figure? What two shapes? A rectangle
Semicircle.
and
A semicircle.
a
Semicircle.
also known as a. So when we get to the circle, we're going to find the area of an entire circle. And that's not perfect, but we'll make it work. And we are going to cut it in half. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right. Let's start with the easy one. What measurements do we need for the rectangle? What measurements do we need for the rectangle?
20 and 7.
Okay, so 20, what are we going to do with 20 and 7?
Multiply.
20 times 7 equals 140. All right, there's part 1. That was easy. We just did all of this. All right, now we're going to pretend like we're finding the entire circle here, not just part of it. We've got to find the whole thing, and then we can cut it in half. But we don't have any measurements.
Yeah, we do.
What measurement do we have?
The diameter.
Oh,
Jesus.
the diameter is 7. Do we all agree?
Yes.
Okay, but our formula for circle is this. That says R, not D.
Put it in half.
Oh. Okay, so what is the radius? What's the radius? Okay, so to find the area, we're going to take pi, which is what? 3.14 times our radius, which we said was 3.5, times our radius again. So I'm just going to grab my calculator. Times 3.5 times 3.5 equals. So that is 38.465. Now, why did I write that over here and not over here? Because that's the area of the whole circle. But we only have a half circle. So what do we need to do with this answer?
Divided by 2.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so smart.
I know, right?
It's still in my calculator, so I'm just going to hit divide by 2. 19.2325. It's not going to hurt us to have extra decimal places in our answer. So, we're going to take, we just did that. We're going to take the area of our rectangle, which is 140, and add the area of our half circle.
How do you find the area of the sphere?
You can't find the area of the sphere. It's a 3D shape.
How do you find the volume of the sphere?
150. What's our label?